Hello, I'm the Game Professor, and welcome to Games as Lit Recommendations. DontNod Entertainment recently met with monumental success through their recent game, Life is Strange, which absolutely deserves the accolades it's been given. But that wasn't their first game, though I get the feeling as time goes on most people will probably think it is. Their first game was Remember Me, an action game on the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. On the surface, Remember Me looks fairly typical, and in some ways, it certainly is. It's a third-person sci-fi action game with a combo-based combat system similar to the Arkham series and all the other games that have tried to reproduce its winning formula. But the more you look into it, the more its uniqueness comes to light. This was DontNod's first effort, and it shows in a variety of ways. You can tell it was made on a fairly low budget for a AAA game. It's just not as polished as a lot of the stuff we've become used to. But you can also tell they really put their all into this. It's dripping with atmosphere, interesting little details, and no shortage of compelling ideas. You can really feel the effort DontNod put into this game. The combat is fairly typical, but it mixes up the formula a bit by letting the player create their own combos. Over the course of the game, you unlock various effects for specific buttons you can press and different combinations to which you can assign them. So you could design a combo so that the first hit does extra damage, the second heals you a bit, the third lowers your ability cooldowns, and so on. The execution is unfortunately a little too simplistic to really become a revolutionary game mechanic, but it's a really nice idea and it does work to distinguish the combat a bit. The story has a real interesting hook, taking place in a futuristic Paris wherein everyone has the ability to upload and share their memories directly with others, along with the ability to remove memories they'd rather not keep. But this comes with some complications. The corporation that created this technology, Memorize, essentially has access to everyone's memories now, so by the time the game takes place, Paris is a police state and a surveillance state run by them. Some people become addicted to reliving positive memories, or the positive memories of others even, and lose their own identity and sanity in the mix. The protagonist, Nilin, is both ethnic and female, and a nice touch of diversity this medium doesn't get often enough, and we join her after her memories are almost entirely erased. She has the rare ability to not only access others' memories, but to alter them as well, to change how people remember their past. This feeds into the game's most unique gameplay offering, remixing memories. At certain points in the story, Nilin needs to get into someone's head and alter their memories in subtle ways that change the outcome of events in their mind, so they remember those events differently. The player sees an event play out and can tinker with various objects within the memory in order to achieve the desired outcome. It's a really interesting gameplay concept, like a point-and-click adventure game with time travel, and you can see how this idea inspired elements of Life is Strange. Unfortunately, the game's biggest weakness in my mind is that all of this brings up a lot of interesting thematic questions, and the game just never really answers them very well. Messing with memories has a lot of interesting ethical implications, but the game never really goes beyond the fairly simple issue of the value of bad memories. For that matter, Nilin is generally a really enjoyable character, but some of the memory remixing she does over the course of the game is seriously ethically questionable, and that's just straight up never dealt with, despite being great material for sci-fi commentary. It reminds me a bit of games like Enslaved: Odyssey to the West and the Gears of War trilogy, and how it brings up more interesting questions than it ever really addresses, like it wanted to talk about a ton of interesting issues but never really got around to dealing with them once they were brought up. But in the end, I'm really glad I played it. It's fairly rare within the AAA games industry to come across a game that really feels like a labor of love, and in fact, in this way it reminded me of Beyond Good and Evil, another unappreciated French game. And what's more, with the success of Life is Strange, you can bet we'll be seeing a lot more of DontNod Entertainment, and I enjoy seeing where they came from before they met with that success. It's far from a perfect game, but that doesn't stop me from recommending Remember Me. Next week we're back on schedule with the episode about giving voices to silent protagonists, and the week after that I'll be analyzing Metroid Other M. I'll see you then.